For many years, Kelly Ripa has been a familiar face on our morning shows in terms of a lively talk show presenter who fills millions of homes with laughter, charisma, and warmth. However, few were aware of the inner struggle that lay beneath that dazzling grin and natural charisma, an intense conflict that deeply affected her family, a battle with cancer that kept out of the spotlight. Her children, who witnessed her struggle firsthand, have added their voices, making it an even more heartbreaking hot topic. We learn the tragic truth they've shared, the resilience they drew from their mother, and the lessons that may forever alter our perspective on resilience today. What her children did disclose, though, could shock you. Reason being, it's not merely a narrative about sickness. It's an extraordinary love story that most of us would never dream of, full of bravery and secrecy. But before we get into it, let's go back to the beginning. Kelly Ripa seemed unstoppable, full of life, energy, and devotion to her fans for a long time. However, cancer, an unseen foe, confronted her in the solitude of her house. Kelly opted to conceal the condition from her fans and family, according to her children. Just picture a mother of three lugging around a crippling sickness. But she never changed. She always greeted each day with the same enthusiasm, grin, and resolution to provide happiness to everyone around her. Those months were the most difficult for her children, they said. When the laughing died down and Kelly's tiredness set in, they saw her in her reflective moments. On the other hand, they noticed something remarkable, her determination to not let the cancer to define her. But hold on a second. She wasn't being secretive only to keep her reputation intact. The main idea was to protect her children from danger. A choice that ironically caused its own form of pain and the fallout from the revelation of the truth. No one could have predicted the unanticipated ways that discovery would alter the family dynamic. However, before we divulge that, let's go into the daily struggles that Kelly's children face. Just picture yourself as a little kid sensing, but not quite understanding that your idol isn't quite right. That was the truth that Kelly's kids had to face. They took note of her shifts, her pauses, her weariness, and her reflective times of silence. But she always smiled reassuringly and shrugged it off when people questioned. "I'm fine," she'd reply. However, she wasn't, and her children knew it. They paint a picture of a complicated blend of terror and respect. Admiration, since they observed their mother's unflinching fights on a daily basis. A sense of dread set in as they realized, in the manner that youngsters frequently do, that their whole existence was precariously balanced. They learned resilience skills in those tender moments, and they still carry those lessons with them now. But anxiety was also a factor. Something deeper was uncovered by them, what love can do when everything else fails. And her children were no longer mere spectators as her sickness worsened. They were there to witness a mother's bravery. Kelly had to deal with a lot of emotional pain by keeping this secret. But how did she do it? I am impressed and amazed by the response. Kelly lacked a showy or boisterous strength. It was low-key, tenacious, and often unnoticed. As protection from the brutal truth, she hid behind her rituals, comedy, and love. Even if she was doubtful herself, her children remember her reassuring them in late-night discussions. A youngster said, "I didn't realize how strong she was until I saw her cry alone and then get up the next morning as if nothing had happened." Her children were profoundly impacted by her unfaltering strength. Courage isn't defined by never feeing. They discovered it's about never giving in to the people you care about the most. Even Kelly doubted she could handle the load on her own for a while, no matter how strong her resolve was. What followed would have a profound impact on all aspects of life. See, not even the strongest people are immune to making mistakes. Fear of her children's reactions, more than the sickness itself, was the source of Kelly's moment of doubt. Which mother would they remember? The one who fought or the one who suffered? Finding out the answer reveals a reality about love, family, and the incredible power of the human soul. Coming up, we'll reveal the jaw-dropping moment when Kelly's kids found out the truth and how it unexpectedly strengthened their family bond. What one of her children told you about the secret she kept for a long time would shock you. Kelly Ripa has been a household name in the United States for many years. Morning TV viewers adored her for her infectious laugh, shining smile, and irresistible charisma. Kelly may come across as charming and easygoing, but she's actually been through a terrible personal struggle, which not even her most ardent admirers were aware of. Rumors regarding her health journey started circulating recently, and the devastating truth is now being disclosed. Michael, Lola, and Joaquin, who are Kelly's children, have spoken out about their mother's ordeal, and their words are incredibly painful. An intimate conflict off camera. Kelly Ripa's reputation as a fierce combatant has never faded. Building her career on tenacity and perseverance, she went from her humble beginnings on All My Children to co-hosting live alongside Regis Philbin, Michael Straba, Ryan Seacrest, and Mark Consuelos. The terrible news that you have cancer was caught her completely off guard. Kelly, fearing disappointing her fans or jeopardizing her career, kept her condition a secret at first, according to her family. She would put on her cosmetics, style her hair, and beam her signature smile for millions of viewers at home, even if she was dealing with fatigue and treatments. In an emotional interview, her daughter Lola revealed that her mother's fear of being perceived as weak was a driving force. We witnessed the suffering, though. Once the camera stopped rolling, the terror on her face was palpable. The children of the mother speak out. Actor Mark Consuelos and Kelly are extremely protective parents. For a long time, they kept their children out of the spotlight. But Kelly's children emerged as her greatest fortress in times of need. The hardest thing Michael had to go through was seeing his mom battle cancer, the eldest son. She was the rock we could always rely on, the glue that held us together. The two of us were trying to keep her together all of a sudden, he explained. When Lola was a little girl, she would often stay up late to see how her mom was doing. In her chamber, I would occasionally hear her crying. Even though I was listening, she had no idea. Despite her fear, she managed to muster a smile for onlookers. I would tell her, "You're the strongest person I know." Mom, the youngest who expressed his efforts to be brave in order to impress her mother, "You're gonna crush this." Still, the thought of losing her filled me with terror. According to what they said, the woman was battling for the safety of her family as much as for her own life. Mark Consuelos, a reliable husband and a steward. Mark, Kelly's husband, was her rock in times of emotional instability, while her children were her anchor. Reports from those close to the family indicate that Mark took on more domestic duties and became Kelly's protector, making sure she never felt lonely. Among his many treatments and appointments, he was consistently present. A close relative said Mark was by her side the whole time. This hardship took their already inspiring love story to a whole new level. How weakness and strength can be used to great effect. A powerful person does not need to be weak in order to be strong. As Kelly's story teaches us, the support of her children was the catalyst that finally allowed her to speak up about her struggle. "Mom," they told me, "that others should know, even when you're scared, you're inspiring." Cancer doesn't merely attack the body. It shakes the founding foundation of everyone who loves the person fighting it. Her children's voices reflect the truth of many families who have faced similar suffering. A letter to her devotees. Kelly Ripa has started to be more transparent about the lessons she has learned, even though she is still on her journey. She emphasizes the importance of early detection, regular checks, and family and friends as a support system. "I felt I needed to handle everything on my own, but my children and spouse have taught me that opening up to people doesn't diminish your strength, but rather it enhances it." Her courage and the sincere testimonials of her children have touched people all around the world. The woman who brought joy to others for so long is now a role model for strength, courage, and the importance of family. And ending, the power of a family. There is more to Kelly Ripa's cancer battle than meets the eye. Love is the greatest healer. This is the story of a mother, a wife, and a lady who found it. Tragic as it may be, her children's statements show the strength they have and how much they feared mom. Kelly has a long road ahead of her, but she's not alone in it. As long as her loved ones are there to support her, she will continue encouraging people to fight bravely and keep believing in a better future.